Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. And I am pumped about today's episode because I am here with Dawn, AKA the Minimal Mom. Thanks for being here, Dawn.
Oh, this is awesome. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have a conversation because she talks all about the tips and the tricks when it comes to a minimalist lifestyle on her YouTube channel, podcast, social media, and website. And so many of you know her and follow her. And so it's like the two worlds collide, I think, for a lot of people right now. I know, it's been so great. So we're going to talk about decluttering and all that goes into that. But first on, I'm just curious, like what got you into this whole just minimalist journey?
Yeah. So we had 4 kids, ages 4 and under. I was a stay-at-home mom. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm living the dream, right? I have so many friends, they want to be stay-at-home moms. Like I get to stay home with my kids, but we were drowning in clutter. I was envious of Tom getting to go to work every day. And I was just like, why am I not enjoying this? And so I was listening to a podcast by Joshua Becker, very well-known minimalist. And he was like, did you know you don't have to have all of this stuff? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, no, Joshua, I didn't know that, right? And like, he literally, that's all he said. I've gone back years later to listen to the podcast. I'm like, it must have been so, like the way he said it must have been like so inspiring. And like, no, he just said, did you know you don't have to have all this stuff? And so that was enough. I like started Googling minimalism. There was like nothing out there about family minimalism.
What year was this?
So this would have been back in 2013, 14.
Okay. Yep.
So like the minimalists were out there, great guys, but like, I'm like, how many forks? Like how many, how much Tupperware do I keep, And so I vowed, like, I'm like, if I get my house decluttered, I am going to like have a website, something, and I'm going to show people how to declutter their house. Yes. So over the course of the next year, we got rid of like 80% of our stuff. I just started with my stuff, the kids' stuff. I left Tom's stuff alone and I just like kept going. And I'm like, if we were not using it, if I didn't know for sure we're going to use it in like the next 6 months, again, I had no real guidelines or parameters, but I'm like, I think this is how you would do it. And so we just kept going further and further. The only thing I regret now is that I didn't record that process because I'm like, well,
I know.
it was an experiment. I had no idea what was going to happen. And people often ask now, like, when did Tom come around? When did he get on board? It was quite a while in, but we went to move out of our townhouse and he was like taking totes out of the garage. He'd built all this lovely storage and there was all these totes, and he goes to pull them down and he's like, they're empty. And I'm like, I know, because if I left the shelves in the garage open, you would have put more stuff on it. Right? And it's like, I needed like mentally, I needed that space to be filled still. So I didn't just like put other stuff up there or whatever. Yes. So it wasn't until then. And then it was still quite a few years after that he was like, let me do his clothes and things. So if your husband's not on board right away, like you do what you can do the kid stuff. And like, it's just a matter of time.
Okay, so people are hearing this and they're like, okay, this sounds great. I want this piece. I want to be able to do it. So let's talk about decluttering.
Yeah.
Let's just go right into it because I want to know like what are the top 10 things that we can just like get rid of?
Yeah, don't buy them. Declutter them from your house today. We'll give you complete permission. And what's interesting, this list actually came about for not only like decluttering and not having to manage so much stuff, but also for getting out of debt. Because our journey of decluttering and getting out of debt went side by side. And decluttering caused me to look at the stuff so much differently in our house, and it made getting out of debt easier. So I know many say like these journeys merge. And so this list is like really born out of that union.
I love that. I love that.
All right, so let's talk about number 1, kitchen, gadgets, and appliances.
Yes.
These things are designed to make our life easier, but most often the cleanup is worse than the time it saves you, like the choppers and the blenders and the purers and the whatever.
Yes.
I hear this all the time. It's like the cleanup is too much, so I never use it, right? So feel free to declutter it, and also don't buy it again. Like next time you're watching an infomercial and it's like, look at all that it does, just say like, no.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
You fooled me before. Yeah. I know better now. Don't buy it. Number 2 is miracle cleaners. I love influencers, Instagrammers, all this.
Yeah.
But darn it, don't they make everything look like a miracle product?
Yes.
Cleaners, face creams, hair products, whatever.
Amen, amen, and amen. Yes,
So
absolutely.
I have a friend, she says, the magic's in the motion, not the potion. She was like, just use the stuff you have. Use the face creams you have. Use the cleaners you have. It's in the motion. It's the actually using it, doing it day in and day out, not the potion or the miracle products that were always being sold.
Yes, but you see it and you're like, oh, I need that. I need that. And then it comes with this 2 things and I need the brush to be able to
You
help
might as
with
well buy
that.
the whole set. Yeah.
And it's, it's like a black hole. That's good.
Yep.
That's good. That's convicting, Dawn.
Yeah.
That's convicting. That's good. That's good.
All right, number 3 is kids' toys, books, and games. So we actually got to visit with John Deloney, Dr. John Deloney
Yes.
too, and he nailed it. He was like, our kids just want us.
Yep.
They want time. They are drowning in stuff, but they are crying out for attention, but they don't actually know how to ask for it. So it's more like they're crabby, they're irritated, they don't play well. They're always coming and saying like, Mom, I'm bored, right?
Yep.
Take away the stuff, and you are going to have the most happy, content, creative kids.
So it's so true though. And it's crazy that as parents, 'cause I have littles and I'm like, it is so easy to be like, okay, the birthday's coming up,
Yep.
Christmas is coming up, or summer's coming up. Let's get some new fun things. I mean, and it's just crap. It's crap and it just ends up building up and building up and building up. And so this is the place where I declutter. I will go through our playroom and the kids can't see because Amelia will see some little Sonic toy from like 3
And all of a
years
sudden
ago.
it's her
She's like,
favorite.
Mom, no. I'm like, you literally did not know this
Yeah.
existed until I just pulled it out. I was like, no.
I know.
It's all of it. But I'm like, we will go through with just trash bags.
Yep.
And we'll do like donate and send to Goodwill, or some of it's just crap and it's just trash. It's broken and there's missing pieces.
Yep.
But I'm like, why? Is it because we don't have the time, we feel like? Because I look up all the time. Currently, right now, Dawn, I'm like, I need to go home with trash bags and do our playroom. Because I'm like, where does it come from?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
for moms with little kids,
Yeah.
why do you feel like it just continues to build up?
Marketing and our own childhood and peer pressure. Marketing tells us kids are happiest when they have the coolest, newest toy. Peer pressure, like I was very worried when people came into our house when I got rid of so many kids' toys. Like, what are other people gonna think? What are other moms gonna say? What if we have a play date? They're like, they don't have any toys, you know?
Oh, interesting.
Peer pressure, our own childhood. I bought a dumb Barbie dream house because it was what I always wanted when I was a kid, right?
Totally.
Our girls never played with it. We ended up selling it on Marketplace again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that play into it. But if we'll realize that our kids are the happiest when they have very little to manage, to play with, that's when their creativity comes out.
Yep.
It's win-win. They're happy, we're happier, and it just makes motherhood so much more enjoyable.
Yes. Oh, amen to that, for sure. For sure.
All right, well, kind of along those lines are craft supplies. So I always thought, like, if I want to have creative kids, then I need to have all of the craft supplies, right?
You shift like some,
Yeah.
You shift away from like technology and all the toys.
Right.
to crafts, and
So
then you
I better
end up
have like
more.
this, robust craft room. And as adults, we do that too, right? We collect all the stuff. But again, our kids are most creative if we give them things from the recycling and masking tape. The things they come up with just out of that. Like if you really want to see your kids' imaginations come to life, take away the stuff. Now, if you love managing that kind of stuff, that's fine. For me, I hated it. And our kids never did crafts because it just made such a mess.
Yes. And it's just like the marker caps. You get a pack of like 300
Yes,
markers. And I'm like,
right.
how many blues are in the world? And I'm like, we don't need this many. We don't need this many. I feel that. I feel that. So one of the things I always hate thinking about, what if something happens to me? What if something happens to my husband, Winston? What's going to happen to the family? There is a great solution, you guys, that really takes that part of worrying and stress and the not good feeling, kind of puts it at ease. And that is term life insurance. And Winston and I personally use Xander Insurance. And they're the best. They make the whole process, you guys, so easy. You give them your information and they go and they shop the top-rated companies for the best policy for you and your family's needs. So no one should go without term life insurance. So go check out Xander Insurance. Just go to xander.com to make sure that your family's future is taken care of.
All right, so next is holiday decor. I mean, gosh, you go to the Target Dollar Spot, you go to Hobby Lobby and Home Goods and all those, and it's like every season my home needs to be decorated, every room to every season, right? And so again, I started realizing that is lots of inventory that I have to manage, but it's also extra money out of our budget that we didn't really have.
Yeah.
And so when I gave myself permission to put like one sign on the door at each holiday or whatever. I couldn't believe how much more peace was in our house because I wasn't trying to keep up with all of the different holidays.
It's so true. I'm not a big holiday decorator, but I know people are.
Yeah.
But yeah, you walk in and I'm like, man, I think this, I'm like, they're so intentional about the season that we are in. Spring is everywhere. And man, it feels like spring in here because you see it all and you know Easter's here. And I don't like look down on people like that, but I do think like, oh wow, that was like a part of my brain that I just don't use.
Yes.
So it's one that it's decluttered, done. Don't worry.
Good. Okay.
The Cruze is check on that one. We're good with that.
All right, how about clothes that don't fit right now? So especially when we were getting out of debt, you go to Target, you go to the clearance rack, and you're like, okay, it's only $4. It's a little snug. I'll lose a little weight. It'll be great. I'll be so glad that I have it. And I have this whole closet of things that, man, if I would just lose 5 or 10 pounds, I would have a really awesome wardrobe that doesn't come, and now I have all these clothes and nothing actually fits. And I know, especially when we're trying to get out of debt, like it can be hard to invest a little bit more into good pieces. And so that's why I love going to secondhand stores, thrift stores, marketplace, eBay, whatever. Find a few good places. But I had to make the rule for myself because I'm so frugal. Like if it does not fit here right now today, it will not go home with me.
That's so smart. And I feel like, especially even after pregnancies for me, I'm like, and I just kept, and you kind of, and I still do. I'm like, I still have stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, back and forth. And it feels like the closet,
Yeah.
I'm guilty on it.
And then we feel really negative when we go to our closet, right? It's just like taunting us, reminding us, you're not good with your money. You make impulsive decisions. You shouldn't have bought. Why? Why did you do that again? Right?
Yes.
Why haven't you lost the weight? And so it's like, get
just
it out.
Screaming at you.
Yes.
Yep.
Let it go.
Oh, I love that. So good.
All right, baby toys and gear. So I think the things that are the most of on the planet are kids' toys, baby stuff, baby clothes.
Yes.
Borrow it from a friend. Yes. Every baby is different, right? One loved to be in the carrier, one loved the pack and play, one hated it and screamed every time I put them in it, right? So especially if you're trying to get out of debt right now, borrow the stuff. And then if you like it, you're like, this is a good fit for our baby, find a really cheap one on Marketplace, right? So test it out, borrow it. Idea. Everyone has tons of it to lend. I found moms were like, you want to borrow this? Yeah, take it, because they feel guilty because they bought all this stuff. So they're more than happy to lend it to you.
Talk about marketing too. I'm like, you enter into this world and I'm like, in everything you could imagine. Even more these days, like my sister-in-law, she just had her baby, her first one. And I mean, Charles is 2. Between the span of 2 years, what they've come up with in the world. And I'm like, some of it is brilliant. I'm like, I could use that. But most of them, I'm like, no, it's a baby. It's gonna be fine.
It's such a short season. They're in each thing, right?
Totally.
All the clothes we get, and they never wear it.
Yes,
so.
And once you're done with it, and that's what we've done. I've given our stuff away because I'm like, number one, we don't need it, and you're like, it is nice stuff, and they use it, like you said, for like just like a short period of time, and you can clean it up. And then it's like brand new again. So that's great. That's such good advice.
All right. How about storage containers? So you don't need more storage containers. Everyone has enough storage containers in their house right now. So as you declutter, don't be tempted to get different ones or cuter ones or matching ones. If you want to, like when you're down the road further and out of debt and all that, go back and get cute ones, that's fine. But just use the stuff that you have right now. Really the problem is probably that you need to declutter and not organize more. So really challenge yourself to use the stuff that you already have.
Okay. And you mean like the stuff, like when you open a drawer and it's all organized.
Or more like Rubbermaid containers, bins, baskets,
stuff. Okay,
you know?
All of that. Yeah. Because you do, now that you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, you do keep stuff. Like I would get like a gift and it comes in like a fun little, and I'm like, I'll use that one day.
Yeah.
And then it goes in the closet and never seen it again.
Yep.
That's good.
All right, how about food that's on sale? So obviously our grocery budget is a big place where we can save money, be really intentional. But I found that when I would buy certain foods that were on sale or clearance or try and like stock up, if it wasn't something that I normally cook with on a regular basis, that was the stuff that got shoved to the back of the pantry. And then I'm never using it. It's going bad before I get a chance to use it. And so I found that the best way for me to stay in budget with groceries is just to have a very predictable inventory of groceries, to get the same things over and over, and really put the blinders on when there's stuff that's on sale, on clearance, because I ended up just throwing it away a lot of times.
Yes, but we're drawn to that idea. We're like, oh, it's a good price. It's a good price.
And we think it's the way to save money. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then you end up with stuff in your house you don't use and spending money you really didn't need to spend in the first place. That's good. I know. I always tell myself, I'm like, just because it's a good deal does not mean it's a good deal for you, Rachel.
Yes.
Walk away. Walk away. Because it's tempting. It's tempting.
And number 10 is workout shoes, clothes, and equipment. So how often, especially around New Year's, we're like, okay, I got to get new shoes. I got to get new workout clothes, whatever. And then I am going to start working out, right?
Yep.
And so the best thing we can do is to develop the habit first and then reward ourselves with the new shoes and the new clothes. So start the walking habit and then buy new walking shoes. You probably have a pair of shoes you can use right now to start the habit.
Yes, we were just talking about this at work a few days ago. Some of my team and one person was like, yeah, I wanted to train for a marathon. So I bought new shoes because I knew it was going to feel great and it was going to make me work out and make me run.
Yep.
And they didn't. And yeah, you think it's going to be this like
back to miracle products,
yes,
right?
Yeah. You think it's like going to change you. No, it is still you. It is still you in the shoes,
It's just with more guilt then,
yeah,
right?
That's
Because
right,
how
that's
guilty
right.
do you feel when you see that new workout stuff, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh,
Yeah.
And stuff can be so expensive, especially if you go brand name.
Yeah.
And all of that, the logo and all, and you're like, oh yeah, you're spending a lot. You're spending a lot. Okay, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so I think a fear people have, or maybe it's just me, when I do go through and have like my moment, because I have that like 3 times a year.
Yeah, like rage purge.
Yeah, I do. I'm like, that is 100% me.
Yeah.
Is I'm like, oh shoot, I threw something away or gave it away that I actually needed.
Yeah.
Are there things that you, just through your experience, to be like, this is stuff to get rid of, those 10 things, but also like, here are things that you may want to get rid of, but you shouldn't.
There's so little, right? I mean, as long as you're not getting rid of like the clothes you wear every single day, the pots and pans you use every single day. I mean, I look back and we've decluttered thousands of items. There's one camera charger and one pair of black pants that afterwards I was like, oh, shoot, I could have used that. But again, we're talking about like $40 worth of stuff. And so I think we just have to be able to give ourselves a little bit of grace and say like, you know what? There is the possibility, like if I'm really serious about decluttering my house, there is the possibility I could make a mistake. There is something I could get rid of. But as long as it's not, under $100 or whatever, the benefits are so much more worth it than trying to predict and imagine what it is that I'm going to use in the future.
That's so true. And we live in the world we live in, so you can get anything. You can get something if you really do need it. No, that's so great. Okay, so when it comes to just minimalism in general, kind of going back to that idea, like what do you think is the hardest part of living that lifestyle?
I think it's the initial getting going of just the fear of making a mistake, kind of like you were saying.
Yes.
Because you actually don't know in the beginning because everything the world is telling us is you need more and you need this and your kids need this. And so we've grown up, no one taught us how to, how much inventory to keep, right? And so we're really having to like pioneer new territory and figure this out for ourselves. And there's actually not a ton of support around that. And so it's being willing to just keep going, start with the easier things, like clothes, kitchen, to keep going through. And what happens is you gain confidence as you go, right? So I talk about like the onion method or going in layers. So if you go to your kitchen today, you're not going to go all out on your kitchen. You're going to do a layer, right? You're going to get rid of the stuff you're clearly not using. And then the next time you come to your kitchen, you're going to go a little further, right? And so you're building confidence. And so for most of us, we couldn't just get a dumpster and schedule a pickup from Goodwill and be like, one weekend, I'm going to declutter my whole house, because you gain confidence as you go, right?
Yes.
And so being willing to go through that process, but understanding that it gets so much easier. Like there's like this tipping point where you're like, I don't know. And then you're like, start to experience the benefits and you're like, this is so awesome. What else could I get rid of? And so it gets so much easier.
So great, Dawn. Thank you so much for coming on. This is like, it's been so huge, you guys. And I hope you do hear that message of that your stuff, it doesn't define you. It's not who you are. It's not what brings you joy. And again, stuff is not wrong or bad.
Yes.
But let's be wise and intentional with not only the stuff we have, but things we're going to buy. And definitely don't go into debt for that stuff, for the crap we don't need. Oh, I could go on a whole rant on. Okay, so where can everyone find you? Because I know people will be looking out.
We spend most time on YouTube, so The Minimal Mom, but also on Instagram. And my website is theminimalmom.com.
Awesome. Okay, so one question I always ask my guests before they leave is, what is one thing with money that you're doing that's creating a life that you love?
Oh, man. We're just so intentional now. So we shared recently on our YouTube channel that we bought some land and we're moving in houses to set up as rentals. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, being here, this is just wow, we've worked the program, the system, and it's life-changing. It changes everything. And so, yeah, it's fun to be dreaming in that direction
That's
now
so
and something we've
exciting.
always wanted to do and to see that come to
Huge.
life. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's awesome.
Well, congratulations. So fun. All right, you guys, make sure to check out everything Dawn is talking about over on her YouTube channel, The Minimal Mom, and really let this inspire you guys, because really it will bring you peace in your life, but also help you with your money. And remember, it's all about taking control of your money and creating a life you love.